Chapter 4, Data Handling. Looking for information. In your day-to-day life, you might have come across information such as runs made by a batsman in the last 10 test matches, number of wickets taken by a bowler in the last 10 ODIs, marks scored by students of your class in mathematics unit test, number of storybooks read by each of your friends, etc. The information collected in all such cases is called data. Data is usually collected in the context of situation that we want to study. For example, a teacher may like to know the average height of students in her class. To find this, she will write the heights of all the students in her class, organize the data in a systematic manner, and then interpret it accordingly. Now this is a branch of mathematics. Data handling or statistics is a branch of mathematics that deals with numbers. Sometimes the data is represented graphically to give the clear idea of what it represents. Do you remember the different types of graphs which we have learned in earlier classes? This is the pictograph. You will see here pictures of car. Each picture represents 100 cars. So in July, there are two complete cars, means 200 cars, and one picture is half. So that represents 50. So in July, the production is 250 cars. In August, 3 cars means 300 cars. And in September, there are 4 pictures. So that will represent 400 cars. How many cars were produced in the month of July? In month of July, there are 250 cars. In which month were the maximum number of cars produced? In September, maximum number of cars were produced. Now this is a second type of graph, and that is called as a bar graph. A display of information using bar or uniform width, their heights being proportional to the respective values. Bar height gives quantity for each category. What this graph represents? Number of students in class 8. In year 2003 to 4, there were 100 students in class 8. In next year, the students were 200. Then in 2005-6, that number increased to 250. In 2006-7, it is 300, and in next year it is 350. Bars are of equal width. This width is same for all the bars. And what will change? Its height will change according to the information or value. And the spacing is also equal. The gaps between two bars is equal. What is the information given by the graph? Graph represents number of students in class 8 in some academic years. In which year is the increase in the number of students is maximum? Here the increase is 100, here the increase is 50, then again 50, and here it is also 50. So the increase is in the year 2004 to 2005. In this year, the increase is maximum. In which year the number of students maximum? It is in 2007 to 2008. State whether true or false. The number of students during 2005 to 2006, the number of students in this year, that number is 250. It's twice that of 2003 to 2004. This number is 100. It is not twice, it is actually more than twice, but this statement is false because it is not exactly double, it is more than double. Now we have double bar graph. In double bar graph there is pair of bars which there is no gap between the pair. So these two are joined to each other. This is also called a joined bar graph. Now this each pair represent marks in different subjects for 2 years. Now this symbol, this represents marks of students in 2005 to 2006 in maths, and the bar adjacent to it represents marks of students in the next year. This pair represents marks in science in 2 consecutive years. Similarly, here this pair represents marks in social science. Oh, sorry, this is in social science and this represents science. This pair represents marks in English and this represents marks in Hindi. This is the representation for a single student. What is the information given by the double bar graph? Double bar graph represents the marks in 2 consecutive years in all the subjects: math, science, social science, English and Hindi. In which subject has the performance improved most? That can be obtained by finding this gap. In 2005-06, maths marks were 30 and here those marks are 60. So it is actually double. In social science, in 2005 to 6 marks were 50 and in next year marks are 55. In science, marks are 45 and 50. Here marks are 50 and in next year it is approximately 45. Here marks are 60 and 60. No improvement is there. So the difference between marks is for subject maths, because this difference is 30, so improvement in maths is the most. In which subject has the performance deteriorated? Deteriorated means there are less marks in next year, that is in English, because in 2005 to 6 marks were 50 and in next year marks are 45. In which subject the performance is at par? At par means no change. So such performance is for subject Hindi. Now there is one more type of graph and that is called as circle graph, or it is commonly called as pie chart. All the information is represented in the circle. Now this is about time spent by a child in various activities: sleep, homework, school, play and others. Now out of 24 hours, 8 hours for sleep, 4 hours for homework, 3 hours for others, 3 hours for play and 6 hours for school. So complete day is divided in different activities and this is called as pie chart. This one is another pie chart that represents age groups of people in a town. There are 50,000 students, 50,000 people in the age 50 to 60, 30,000 in the age 0 to 14 and 20,000 with age 60 or above. These are called circle Graphs, a circle graph shows the relationship between whole and its part. Whole day has 24 days and sleep is 8 hours. Here the whole circle is divided into sectors. The size of each sector is proportional to the activity of information it represents. So a child spends maximum time of day in sleep and minimum in other activities or playing. Here, maximum number of people are in the age of 15 to 60. For example, in the above graph, the proportion of sectors for hours spent in sleeping is 8 upon 24. So it is 1/3. 4 upon 24, that is 1/6. This is 1/8 because it is 3 upon 24. This is also 1/8, and this one is 6 upon 24, that is 1/4. So this sector is drawn 1/4 of the circle. Similarly, the size of other sectors can be found. This is 1/4 of the circle. Add up the fractions of all the activities. Do you get the total as 1? Yes, obviously we can get that total as 1. You can check it. Drawing a pie chart. How to draw a pie chart? Let us solve one example. There are flavors of ice cream and percentage of students preferring the flavor. Chocolate is preferred by 50%, vanilla 25%, and other flavors 25%. Here, let us find out fraction of the whole. 50% means 50 out of 100. So this fraction is 1/2. This is 25 out of 100, that is 1/4. So these are the fractions. Now we have to represent it in the form of a circle. So we calculate half part of complete angle, that is half of 360. So it is 180. So if we draw this graph, circle graph, first we will draw circle with any radius, then draw one radius. Now keep your protractor here and make an angle of 180 degrees. 180 means a straight line. This angle is 180. This represents chocolate flavor because this one is 180 degree. Now keep your protractor here along this line and make a mark on 90 degree because this is 1/4 of 360, that is 90. So this one is for vanilla and this is for other flavors. This is how we can draw the pie chart. The process is given in number of diagrams. First we draw a circle, then draw radius, then make angle of 180 degree. Now by keeping your protractor on one of these lines, mark the next angle, that is 90 degree, and remaining will be 90 degree automatically. Adjoining pie chart gives the expenditure in percentage on various items and savings of family during a month. Let us find out which are the expenses. Food, on food 25%, education for children 15%, house rent 10%, transport 5%, others 20%, saving 15%, and clothes 10%. On which item the expenditure is maximum? Let us find out the bigger part sector of the circle, this. So the food expenditure is maximum on food. or we can find out from the percentage number also. 25 is the greatest number. So on food, expenditure on which item is equal to total saving of the family. Saving is 15% and education for student is also 15%. So expenditure on education of children is same as savings of the family. If the monthly savings of the family is 3,000, what is the monthly expenditure on clothes? For this we have to calculate. Now this 15% means 15 upon 100. 15% means 15 upon 100. So out of 100 rupees, 15 are spent or 15 rupees are saved. And we don't know the income of the family. So we consider that income as X. Let income be X. So 15% of income is rupees 3,000. So what is the total income? We can find the total income by transposing these two numbers. This is 200. So income of family is rupees 20,000. Now clothes, expenditure on clothes is 10%. So let us find out 10% of 20,000. 10% means 10 upon 100 into 20,000. It is rupees 2,000. Here it is solved by another method, that 15% represents 3,000, then what value 10% will represent. Here also we can consider that as X. So by as percentage increases, expenditure will also increase. Therefore it is a direct variation. In direct variation, ratio is constant. So 15 upon 10 must be equal to 3,000 upon X. Therefore by cross multiplication we get 15 into X is equal to 3,000 into 100. So X is equal to 3,000 into 100 divided by 15. Answer is same. The method of solving is different. On a particular day, the sales of different items of baker's shop are given below. Draw the pie chart for this data. Now this is the sales. Total sales is 720. That is 320 plus 80 plus 160 plus 120 plus 40. It's 720. So while finding fraction, we will find out 320 divided by 720, because out of 720 the sales for bread, ordinary bread, is 320. So let us simplify this. These are in the table of 4. We can simplify this as 8 and 18, because 8 4s are 32 and 18 4s are 72. We can again divide these numbers by 2. So the fraction is 4 by 9. Then to find out central angle, we find 4 by 9 into 360. So this is our required angle for ordinary bread. For next item, we will find out fraction by 80 divided by 720. and that fraction is 1 by 9. So to find out central angle, 1 by 9 into 360, that will give you 40 degree. It is for fruit bread. Yes, here it is. Similarly, we can get central angles for each of the item. Now draw a circle and go on marking these angles with the help of protractor, and we will get a pie chart like this. Mention here which sector represents which item, and that is also on this angle. 160 is for ordinary bread, biscuits, and so on. Yes, this is exercise on the same topic. Try to solve questions from this exercise.